everyone. Karishma here from Calm Canine Academy. Nice to see you. I'll let people join. We're going to be doing a cute, fun, informative live today based off of a post that we did like last week or the week before, which went like loads of people saw it. And it was all about affirmations for sensitive dogs. So just some intros if you haven't met me or don't know much about me. I am a sensitive dog specialist. I have spent the last 8 years working with dogs who struggle with reactivity, fear, aggression, anxiety. And I now work with a small team of incredible dog trainers, and we specialize in treating sensitive dogs and healing sensitive dogs. The post that we made was affirmations for sensitive dog guardians, and as someone who has raised a dog with generalized anxiety who has bitten me and other people before I really knew what to do, he was terrified of everything, barking, lunging, unmanageable behavior that was like really distressing, to be perfectly honest. I made a compilation of some of these phrases that have helped me and shifted as well like how I view dogs over the years, and let me know if these resonate with you at all. I'm gonna just like talk about them, and I want to hear what you think about the different affirmations as well. So my first one that's been like in my head for a long time: they're not giving me a hard time, they're having a hard time. They're not giving me a hard time, they're having a hard time. So if we're working with dogs who are performing barking, lunging behaviours, maybe they're biting, maybe they're performing behaviours that are destructive. Maybe we have a dog with separation anxiety who's just ripping a door apart. I've definitely lost my patience with my dogs before, and I'm not judging anyone who has. Everyone does. It's not that it's not hard, it is hard, but they're not doing it on purpose. And that's really helpful for me to remember in those moments where I'm like, you're just being a stubborn little so-and-so. That's my conditioning. Like, that's how I was brought up. I'm rephrasing that and reframing that to you're doing the best you can with the tools that you have available. That dog that's pulling at the lead and they're pulling your arm out the socket, like, does it hurt? Yes. But are they doing it on purpose? No. They're probably feeling a big feeling and are like frustrated that they can't move freely. You would be too. It helps me to think about that stuff. Because I guess it moves me nicely to my next one, which is my dog's behavior does not make them a bad dog, and it does not make me a bad guardian. Sorry, my dog is just coming in and out of the room doing weird stuff. My dog's behavior does not make them a bad dog and does not make me a bad guardian. And sometimes I think I've had like emotional responses towards my dog because... Hera, come here. Okay. Sorry. I think I've definitely like got mad at my dogs before because I feel like they reflect badly on me. Like, my dog's lunging and barking and I'm like, oh, it's so embarrassing. Your dog's behavior is affected by so many things, so many hundreds of different influencing factors. Most of them outside of your control, most of them outside of their control. Their behavior has no moral value in either direction, right? Like, they're just doing the best they can. It's like kids, right? They're not a bad kid. You know, we have to look at this through like a disability justice framework. Like, what are the barriers in place that are making them unable to do the things they need to do? And the same for the guardians. We need to be thinking about it like radical empathy, right? Like, what is it that's in the way of them doing what we need them to do right now? Or some version of that question needs to be asked. So it's not their fault, it's not your fault. And I guess that leads into this like embarrassment piece. Like lots of people who have dogs who struggle with their emotional regulation, you get a lot of judgment from people. You know, I asked people in the stories the other day, has anyone ever called your dog a bad dog? And I just got so many responses, so many people being like really horrible things. There's a lack of empathy, there's a lack of that gentleness often in the world when you're in a public space with a dog who's not behaving the way people expect them to. And maybe you're not behaving in the way people expect you to, right? How many times have I had it that my dog's lunging and barking and I'm not going to punish him? Or my dog's scared and I advocate for him, no, don't touch him, and someone said that I'm a bitch or that I'm coddling him. There's a lot of judgment out there, unfortunately. It's just good to like be honest about it. Again, I don't judge anybody for their behavior, but my third affirmation is I care more about my dog than about what other people think. I care more about my dog than about what other people think. I work with dogs that are really scared and sensitive and often need a lot of support from their guardians, and often these guardians get a lot of judgment from the people in their communities, in their lives, in their families for supporting these dogs. And that to me really reveals like a sickness in society, because providing care should never be something that's judged. And the fact that then people are seeing it as something that it isn't, is sad. Ultimately, I'm not going to let how other people judge me and my behavior to influence my behavior, especially when my dog is the one that suffers as a result of that, if that makes sense. So I care more about my dog than what other people think. I don't care if my family don't understand that I'm not going to leave my dog alone because they have separation anxiety. I don't care. It's irrelevant to me. I mean, that's not true. It's hard. It's complicated. But ultimately, I'm going to acknowledge that social pressure for what it is so that it doesn't influence my behavior and then ultimately set me and my dog back, right? Because we've been in a position before where you've had pressure from someone to do something with your dog and you've been like, I don't know. But you've done it anyway. And then it makes it worse. And you're like, double fuck. Now I gave in and I've now taken a step back and didn't stand up for my dog in the way that I was meant to, or I didn't advocate for him the way that I was meant to. So yeah, I think that's especially for like, you know, if you're like socialized as a female and stuff, you know, you're out in the world, you sometimes need a team behind you saying, you tell them to F off, you know, you say no, you set your boundary. And we're here for you for that, because I care more about my dog than about what other people think. I've got 2 more to go, folks. Thank you if you've hung around. The fourth one. Ooh, wait, I've got a good comment from someone here. I've had such a hard time with this, they say. Telling the in-laws I can't have their dog around as my dog can't cope has been hard. Yeah, there have been fallouts and it can be hard. 100%. Especially if you're asking someone to significantly change their behavior for your dog, like you're saying here, you're asking for your parent-in-law's dogs to be separated from your dogs. That could be hard, I imagine, for your parents, because they're going, well, now I don't get to spend time with my dog and my dog has to be like shut away. So I can see why they might struggle with that. Ultimately, what it comes down to for me frequently is being able to make space for that other person. Like if I'm asking them to make a change, like say for example, when I first brought Hira back to home to London, my parents didn't really understand like the consent stuff. And he was at a stage where he was really suspicious of people. He was like pretty traumatized and trigger stacked, and I knew that he was not going to be able to handle people pushing past him. I wanted him to have a good relationship with them, so I explained to them what they needed to do, which was weird, like don't look at him, don't touch him for 2 seconds, stop now, look away, you know, like these sorts of things that they were like, what, why can't I kiss him? I want to cuddle him, I want to kiss him, why can't I? And I'm like, well, you can't, because he's a living being. But ultimately, outside of the ethical stuff, he won't, it's not good for him. And I think that helped me, is that we met in this place where I was like, hey, you want the best for Hero, right? And my mum was like, of course I do. And I was like, right, well, this is what the best for him is, even if you don't understand it. And I did have to say a few times, if you don't listen, I won't bring him over. Like, if you can't listen to me here, I just won't bring him over. I won't be mad at you. I won't bring him over and get in fights with you about it. I just will stop bringing him over. And I guess that's boundary stuff, right? And I guess that's something that you could work on with a human therapist. But, whatever. We could talk about it on Instagram Live too. It's hard though. My heart breaks, someone wishing how others could see just how wonderful my dog is 99% of the time. I wish they could understand how much work we put in every day to overcome his fear and triggers. So thank you for this. Oh, well, we see you here, my friend. I am so lucky that I'm surrounded by a community of people who validate my experiences with my dog. But to not have that community, I think, is deeply, deeply isolating. I think it can drag you down into like a kind of despair pit, where like we're the only ones who are in this, it's us against the world. That's why in our programs we heal in community. Like, I just jumped off working with my Feisty Fidos, who is our group program for sensitive dogs, and 3 of them basically the same dog. One in Australia, one in North America, one in like the Netherlands. It's so amazing to see how connected we all are by these challenges. Actually, you're not alone as much as it feels like it. And although maybe your family and your like people around you immediately don't see it, like they don't see the struggle, that they don't really get it because they've never done it before. Like, it's like parents, I guess. Like, parents often say like, you just don't get it until you become a parent. And I guess this is a form of parenting, right? So it makes sense. That's why I think these sorts of places are so important. And Steph and Murphy in the comments saying community is so powerful. And Steph, you've taken our programs, so as someone who cares for a dog who has health issues and mental health challenges, like just being around other people who can say to you like, I see the work you're doing, and I see your dog, like I see your dog's behavior. Like, I think so many people look at Hera and my dogs and just go, they're fine, but being able to like make friends and go on the internet and meet people who look at my dog's body language and see the subtle signs of anxiety and then validate that to me and say, oh yeah, he was actually pretty scared there. I'm glad you made that decision to move him away. And that leads us to my 4th affirmation, which is, I believe my dog when they tell me they need help. I believe my dog when they tell me they need help. I really like this one. And this one is a big one for me because I did not believe my dog for a long time. You're fine. God, how many times did I say that to him? So triggering, because I was told that as well as a kid, as like an autistic kid. You're fine. You're just being dramatic. Ooh. The reality is that they're probably not being dramatic. Like, if Hera is telling me that the bus that went past was really scary for him and he's planting and he's not eating anymore, it's not helpful for me to say, oh, you're being a drama king, come on, let's keep going. I've learned to just say, I hear you. What do you need? And like genuinely ask that question. Like, do you need to go home? Do you need me to sit here and cuddle you? But I think a lot of us become desensitized to our dog's pleas for help, our dog's stress signs. And so that's why, working with a professional like us, we can help you see those bids and notice the whispers before they escalate. So frequently people come to us when their dogs are yelling and screaming, and it's okay if you're there. Like, hell, I was there too. Hera bit me, he bit a bunch of other people, it's okay. No judgment. But sometimes you really need perspective. We were just in our Feisty program now, and I told, I think, 4 different groups at the same time. I was saying to them, I think you need to walk your dogs less, because I think that they are overwhelmed on walks, and I think that they're asking for help, and I don't think that we quite see it now. I think that we're miscommunicating with them. And so learning how to listen, Steph, yes, learning how to listen. 100%, that's what it is. Learning how to listen. Teddy the Bernedoodle, we just completed the Feisty program. Oh my gosh, congratulations. You must have been with Lauren. And community is very powerful. Now I know I'm not the only one struggling, and moreover, I can better understand my dog and help him to improve his life. Yes, Teddy. Oh my God, you make me cry. I'm so hormonal. Don't do this to me. That's so beautiful. Thank you. That's the whole point of our program, is to show you you're not alone, to give you a community to like root in and to develop and get you kick-started, a springboard off, you know, so that you can kind of go off and do this yourself and go on this healing journey. I know it sounds cheesy, but it is, honestly. And I guess that leads me to like my last affirmation, which is, I will not project toxic human concepts on my dog. This one for me was big. You know, I've been doing my own therapy stuff whilst doing therapy with my dogs, and it's all the same stuff really, isn't it? So when I'm blaming Hero for his behavior, I'm channeling the patriarchy and ableism and all sorts of other things, right? Colonialism, you know. When I'm saying to him that he needs to obey my commands, that doesn't sound like the sort of stuff that I believe, you know. And so when I started training dogs, it was, you know, they have to listen, they have to learn. We're training them to obey us. And now they're captive animals. There is no such thing as good behavior and bad behavior. There's just attempts to meet a need. Our dogs don't owe us anything. In fact, we owe them a lot more than they owe us. These things have all come from me dismantling like capitalism, colonialism, dogs as objects, dogs as property, all these things. It's really helpful actually, but also kind of like blows your mind a little bit, because you're like Little Miss Peach, hi. Learning to communicate with others about what my dog's needs are was quite difficult. But overcoming my own fears around how the people reacted has helped me and helped us set her up for success more. We're often like literally practicing those conversations, and I'll be coming out with a few like scripts for folks in posts over the next few weeks as we come up to the holidays. But literally, I'm autistic, so I have scripts for everything. But having scripts for how you're going to have these conversations with your family, you know, can be really helpful. So stay tuned for some of that content as we go into the holiday season. And I hope that you enjoyed this little chat about affirmations, expanding on some of those concepts that we were talking about in that post. You can go back and find the post if you want. It's cute. And let me know in the comment section if any of this resonated with you, or if there are any other affirmations that you use with your dogs. And if you are looking for help, if you are working on trying to heal with your dog and any of this resonated and you're looking for a community to root in, to heal together with, you should DM us with the word feisty, because we can talk to you about your dog and about whether or not you'd be a good fit for our Feisty Friday program. That a few of the graduates have been in the chat here. So thank you for being here. Lovely to see you all. All right, my loves, have a good day. I'll see you. Bye.